90% of Americans are making one simple credit mistake right now, and it's quietly destroying their financial future. The scary part is, it doesn't feel like a mistake at all. You might be paying your bills on time every single month, thinking you're doing everything right, but behind the scenes your credit score could still be dropping. And that one hidden mistake could be costing you thousands of dollars in extra interest on loans, higher credit card rates, and even getting you rejected when you need money the most. Imagine walking into a bank expecting approval for a car or a home, only to be denied or offered a terrible deal just because of something you didn't even realize mattered. That's exactly what's happening to millions of people every day. And here's the worst part. Banks and lenders understand this mistake very well, and they profit from it. But today, that changes. In the next few minutes, you're going to discover exactly what this mistake is, why it has such a massive impact on your credit score, and how you can fix it faster than you think. Your credit score isn't just a number, it's one of the most powerful financial tools you have. It determines whether you qualify for loans, how much interest you'll pay, and even things like renting an apartment or getting approved for certain jobs. A higher score can save you tens of thousands of dollars over time, while a lower score can quietly drain your money month after month without you noticing. The problem is, most people were never taught how credit actually works. Schools don't explain it, and by the time you figure it out, you've already made mistakes that are holding you back. Maybe you've been using your credit card like a debit card, or you've been carrying a balance thinking it helps your score. These habits feel normal, but they could be doing more harm than good. So if you've ever wondered why your credit score isn't improving or worse, why it's going down even when you're trying your best, you're about to get a clear answer. And more importantly, you'll learn exactly what to do differently so you can start seeing real results. Let's get straight to the point. The number one credit score mistake most Americans make is something called high credit utilization. Now that might sound technical, but it's actually very simple. Credit utilization is just the percentage of your available credit that you're using at any given time. For example, if you have a credit card with a $1,000 limit and you're using $800, your utilization is 80%. And that right there is where the problem begins. Most people think that as long as they pay their credit card bill on time, they're doing everything right. And while payment history is important, it's not the whole picture. Credit bureaus are constantly looking at how much of your available credit you're using, not just whether you pay it back. When they see high usage, they interpret it as risk. It signals that you might be too dependent on credit, even if you never miss a payment. What surprises a lot of people is how sensitive this factor is. Ideally, you should keep your utilization below 30%. And if you really want to optimize your score, under 10% is even better. But here's the catch. Most people regularly go above that without even realizing it. Everyday spending like groceries, bills, or online shopping can quickly push your balance up, especially if you're using just one card. So even if you're financially responsible and paying everything off at the end of the month, your score could still take a hit simply because your balance was high when it was reported. That's the mistake. It's not about debt, it's about timing and perception. And once you understand that, everything starts to make sense. To understand why this mistake is so damaging, you need to know how your credit score is actually calculated. Your score isn't random, it's built from different factors, each with its own level of importance. The biggest one is your payment history, which makes up about 35% of your score. That's why everyone always says just pay on time. But right after that comes credit utilization, and it makes up about 30% of your score. That's almost as important as paying on time. So when your utilization is high, it has a direct and powerful impact. Even if you're perfect in every other area, this one factor can drag your score down significantly. The reason is, simple lenders don't just care if you pay your bills. They care about how you use credit overall. High utilization makes it look like you're relying too much on borrowed money, which increases your risk in their eyes. Here's where it gets even more frustrating. Credit scores are calculated based on snapshots of your balance, not your intentions. So if your card reports a high balance even if you pay it off in full a few days later, your score can still drop. It's not about what you eventually do, it's about what gets reported at that specific moment. This is why so many people feel confused. They're doing what they think is right, but their score isn't improving. It's not because they're irresponsible. It's because they don't understand how the system works. Once you see how heavily utilization is weighted, you realize this isn't a small mistake. It's a major one that can quietly hold you back for years. So why do so many people make this mistake? The answer is actually pretty simple. No one really teaches this stuff. Most people learn about credit by trial and error, and unfortunately, that leads to habits that seem logical but are actually harmful. One of the biggest reasons is how people use their credit cards. Many treat them just like debit cards, swiping for everyday purchases without thinking about the percentage of their limit they're using. Another major issue is misunderstanding how billing cycles work. Most people think the only date that matters is the due date. As long as they pay before that, they assume everything is fine. But what they don't realize is that credit card companies report your balance to credit bureaus before the due date, usually on the statement closing date. So if your balance is high at that moment, that's what gets recorded, even if you pay it off later. Then there's one of the biggest myths in personal finance, that carrying a balance helps your credit score. This idea has been around for years, and it's completely false. Carrying a balance doesn't boost your score. It actually increases your utilization and can hurt you. But because so many people believe it, they intentionally leave money on their card, thinking they're doing the right thing. Add to that the lack of financial education, and it's easy to see why this mistake is so common. It's not about being careless, it's about being uninformed. And once you understand the system, you can avoid falling into the same trap. Now for the good news, this is one of the fastest credit score problems you can fix. Unlike missed payments or collections, which can stay on your report for years, credit utilization can change quickly, sometimes in just a few weeks. The first step is to keep your utilization below 30% and ideally under 10%. That means if your limit is $1,000, you should aim to keep your balance below $300, or even better, below $100. The next step is to pay attention to timing. Instead of waiting for your due date, try paying your balance down before your statement closes. This ensures that a lower balance is what gets reported to the credit bureaus. You can even make multiple payments throughout the month to keep your balance low at all times. Another effective strategy is to request a credit limit increase. If your limit goes up but your spending stays the same, your utilization automatically drops. Just be careful not to use that as an excuse to spend more. The goal is to lower your percentage, not increase your debt. You can also spread your spending across multiple cards instead of putting everything on one. This keeps the utilization lower on each individual account. These small changes might seem simple, but they can have a huge impact. In many cases, people see noticeable improvements in their score within 1 or 2 billing cycles. Before we wrap up, here are a few extra tips that can make a big difference. First, set up automatic payments so you never miss a due date. While utilization is important, payment history still carries the most weight, so consistency is key. Second, consider setting alerts on your credit card to notify you when your balance reaches a certain level. This helps you stay aware of your utilization in real time. It's also a good idea to check your credit score regularly using free tools. This allows you to track your progress and see how your actions are affecting your score. Over time, you'll start to understand what works best for you and build better habits. Now let's quickly recap. The biggest mistake most people make is using too much of their available credit. It's not about how much debt you have, it's about how much of your limit you're using at any given time. By simply lowering your utilization and managing your timing, you can start improving your score faster than you might expect. And remember, your credit score is not permanent. It's constantly changing based on your behavior. That means you have the power to improve it, starting today. If you found this helpful, make sure to stick around. Because in the next video, we're going to break down how to boost your credit score by up to 100 points in just 30 days. So here's the bottom line: this one mistake, using too much of your available credit, is quietly holding back millions of people, and there's a good chance it's been affecting you too, without you even realizing it. The good news is, now you know exactly what's going on behind the scenes. Your credit score isn't some mysterious number controlled by luck, it's based on patterns. And once you understand those patterns, you can start using them to your advantage. Think about it: by simply lowering your credit utilization, it's paying attention to when your balance is reported, and making a few small adjustments to how you use your cards, you could start seeing real improvements in your score in just a matter of weeks. That's the power of knowing how the system works. And the earlier you fix this, the more money you save in the long run in loans, on interest, and on opportunities you might have missed otherwise. Now it's your move. Take a look at your current balances, check your limits, and see where you stand. Even a small change today can make a big difference tomorrow. And if you want to keep learning simple strategies like this that can level up your financial life, make sure you subscribe and stay tuned. Because in the next video, we're going to break down a step-by-step plan to boost your credit score by up to 100 points in just 30 days. I'll send Sam all some send some Sam 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 Set to send Sam send send to set to send 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 send